Now joining us in this conversation, let's feel the euphoria over there. From Kampala, Uganda, we have Dennis Musali, Communication Manager for Uganda Cricket Association. Thank you so much, Dennis, for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. A pleasure to be with you guys.
It's always a pleasure to have you. Zimbabwe were the top-ranked side in the African qualifiers at 11th in the world, 1 place ahead of Namibia. Now we are seeing Uganda Cricket Cranes. They become the 20th team at the 2024 T20 World Cup. You have been part of this journey for quite some time. It must be a good feeling for you to know that this journey started from, the grass days and now to glory. Let's know how you feel about the qualification, first-time tickets to the T20 World Cup.
I think, first of all, personally, I'm also very, very proud of the boys. As a Ugandan, of course, I'm very happy that our national anthem will be one of those that will be played at the World Cup come next year in June in the US and West Indies. So we're very, very excited. And of course, when our under-19 boys played at the World Cup in the West Indies in 2022, we were equally happy when they were coming up against the big boys who played India and South Africa. But this time, our guys are also going to play the cream of the world. So we can imagine when we are playing against India or Pakistan or New Zealand or South Africa or Australia itself. So it's going to be very, very proud it's going to be a proud moment for us as Uganda. And this is the first time our senior men's team is qualifying for any World Cup event. So this is going to be a very big opportunity for us, especially now that we are trying to attract a lot of more corporate sponsors for the sport in the country. But as well, government has been very, very happy because we are one of the few sports that are qualifying for the World Cup. Uganda as a nation, we don't qualify for so many World Cups. For you, you know Nigeria, your Super Eagles have been everywhere. But for us, it's just rugby. The sevens boys have been to the World Cup, as well as the sevens women's team have also been to the World Cup. And then netball, of course. So cricket is the other sport that has been able to take a senior team to the World Cup. So it's going to be a very, very proud moment for all of us.
One win for Uganda there. Congratulations to you. But I know that there were a lot of standout performance from that competition. It was a bad day for Sikandar Raza, of course, and that wicketkeeper for the Zimbabweans. But I know you had some standout performance because the way the team played, I would say, thoughts and prayers for whoever determined the winner for the Men's Associate Performance of the Year for 2023. They would have a selection headache of who would be the celebrated man of the match for the competitions. But with this great bowling and fierce chase from the Ugandan Cranes, who will standout performance for the day? Dennis, are you still with me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I was just commending the way the Ugandan Cricket Cranes played for the day. They were fast and fiery. And I did say it was not a good run for Sikandar Raza from Zimbabwe, who, even after his performance and how spectacular he plays, he could not gain that qualification for Zimbabwe. With the way the Cricket Cranes they played, who were your standout performers for the day?
I think one of the things you said about was the ICC performance of the year may be difficult from an associate nation.
Yeah.
I think we are head and shoulders over anyone else. The decision should be very easy for whoever who's making it. But in terms of our team, I think a lot of the guys put in a very good shift. Bilal Hassan came into the tournament on the back of some very good form, and he was able to continue that form throughout the tournament, picking key wickets. But also, I think Ronak Patel, Simon Sesazi at the top of the order. Riyazat Ali Shah continues to do very good things for Uganda, especially in T20 cricket. That performance against Zimbabwe was very, very key because that's a victory that put us in a position of victory. And then also Alpesh Ramjani also put in a very good shift with both ball and bat. So it's been, I think, a very good team effort. And overall, for me, I feel the captain as well, Brian Massa, was excellent leading that team. He made very key decisions in key moments that were able to turn the game in our favor. So as a whole, the whole team came together as a party. There were contributions from everyone. Only 2 players never got an opportunity of playing throughout the whole tournament. David Wabwire and Jonathan Sebanje, but everyone else was given an opportunity to take part to be part of history for Uganda. And I think it's been a very, very decent shift from the team. It's been a collective effort from everyone, a contribution that shows how far they've been able to come as a group, because they've been together for the last 3 years, and their goal and aim has been to make sure that they get here. And finally, they've been able to do that as a group.
Okay, we saw some supporting fans. They were not much, but they were fair enough for the Ugandan Cricket Cranes to pick that ticket. Let's be realistic right now. Dennis, in the next 5 to 10 years, Nigeria cricket, Rwanda cricket will be cricket hubs for African region and also Ugandan cricket. Time is coming when African cricket, men and women, they will be the strongest among the ICC associate regions. See this fairy tale from the Cricket Cranes and how we love it, how we talk about it, how we celebrate it. 5 wins out of 6, including an all-important win against Zimbabwe. And Uganda are off to the T20 for the first time, considering how far that they have come. Dennis, what can be done by nations to broaden the scope of cricket as a sport so we can see more African sides at the T20 World Cup?
I think, first of all, the hiccup, not the hiccup, but I think the cap would be that only 2 teams can qualify out of Africa. But if you look at the 7 teams that are the qualifiers, you could have as many as 4 going to represent Africa, because you feel that the game is growing in all these different nations. We saw Rwanda representing Africa at the Under-19 Girls World Cup in South Africa sometime this year, I think, if I remember correctly. So there are a lot of things that are being done by the different associates, and the performance of Uganda against Zimbabwe, I think, is testament that the gap between us and those at the top is slowly but surely closing. So everyone is putting in a lot of work to make sure that they are very, very competitive on the global stage. So as we keep putting in this performance, you remember in the past, always used to be only 1 team going out of Africa, but now we have two slots as Africa to go to the World Cup, meaning that if we keep doing the right things, never know, they may open up and then we have 3 slots where 3 slots available for teams at the World Cup. So we just need to keep improving. We've been, as a region, we've been supporting each other very well. The teams from Namibia, the teams are going to play the Africa Cup, which is another competition that helps the different teams, compete amongst themselves. And, when you compete against each other, you know that maybe this is what I need to work on to make sure that I get closer to the one who's ahead of me. So those are all the things that we need to keep doing together. There's a Qualification Cup in Rwanda that happens every year. So all those are the good things that the different countries are doing that can help us bridge the gap and make sure that we get closer to each other.
I'm very sure the banner behind you is not, it's not in this conversation, but it's all good and fine. We need to know what awaits the Ugandan Cricket Cranes as they have clinched a historic ticket to the T20. What awaits them in Kampala, or even from the government, or maybe the Cricket Association of Uganda? What awaits them?
Unfortunately, one of the problems is that the team is arriving late in the night. But a big party is awaiting them. A big party, and a bigger party will happen, of course, I think, when we go to the West Indies. A lot of people now are very interested in going to West Indies to support them during the World Cup. We saw the impact of only, you spoke about them, I think there were about 5 people. We saw the impact they made because they were cheering them on. And this time we're hoping that at the World Cup we have as many people going to the USA and the West Indies to support the team. But a big party awaits them. Government has already congratulated us. There's a message from the president himself and the first lady, who is also the Minister of Education and Sports. So they're very, very interested in what is going to happen for the cricket. Recently, the last 2 years, we've been getting government support in a way which has not been happening in the past. So now that they know that.
And that's when Dennis was giving us the most important tip there from the growth, development of cricket in Uganda. I will be hoping to have him back, but if we can't, of course, I would say celebration. We're still in the mood for that first-time ticket gained by the Ugandan Cricket Cranes. There we're speaking to the communication manager of the Ugandan Cricket Association. Says the First Lady awaits the coming to give the Cricket Cranes a reception after they clinched a historic ticket to the T20 Men's World Cup. Congratulations once again to the Ugandan Cricket Cranes.